Eugene's life was a quiet, hard one. Every day was a struggle just to keep going, and to pay his younger brother's school fees. "It's nothing," he'd say with a smile. "Would you like to see? This is my little brother. He's all the family I have left in the world." He said he'd finish up with school early today. Eugene mentions, his whole world wrapped up in that one boy. Theirs was an ordinary life, small and warm, the kind that asks for nothing more than another quiet tomorrow. All across the city, people went about their days, never imagining how soon everything would change. Because one day, without any warning, a gate suddenly appeared on Earth. A strange phenomenon, recurring again and again, that at first seemed to do no harm at all. But the number of people gripped by a nameless dread was climbing by the second. The whole world held its breath, waiting to understand what these gates truly were. And then, on one perfectly ordinary afternoon, it came for Eugene. "That?" he murmured, as a strange shape tore open the air right in front of him. "One appeared on the route to my brother's school," he realized, his blood running cold. "What if it's a real dungeon?" From the rift, something monstrous began to crawl out into the daylight. Eugene froze, face to face with a nightmare made flesh. The creature loomed over the fleeing crowd, hungry and utterly merciless. But all Eugene could think of was his brother, somewhere out there, alone. Screams filled the streets as the monster struck without warning. And then a true horror emerged. A boss, towering far above the rest. The world erupted into fire and chaos in an instant. Claws and fangs tore through everything in their path. "Are you all right?" someone cried. "You have to get out of here while you can." "Your arm, what happened to your arm?" In the heart of the inferno, Eugene made his choice, and threw himself into the fight. For he would face any monster, and pay any price, to keep his little brother safe. Years pass, and the world transforms. The gates change absolutely everything. Ordinary people begin to awaken, gifted with powers beyond imagination. Magic and monsters become an everyday reality. Amazing. So this is the ability you used to save people? One marvels. Trees grew in an instant. These awakened ones, called hunters, become humanity's shield against the gates. The strongest among them rise to fame and unimaginable fortune. Each awakening is a small miracle, a new power born into a dangerous world. And the hunters who survive the gates become living legends. Currently, at just 25, they say his wealth is absolutely astronomical. One whispers of a top hunter. "If I keep this up," a young woman hopes, "I'll finally be able to cover my little brother's tuition." But the gates are merciless. Hunter Yoonhyuk was rushed to the hospital this morning, and never recovered. For every fortune won, a life is gambled against the dark. "Hello? Are you even listening to me, boss?" A weary voice calls out. And there, among the lowest of the low, is Eugene. "He'll come cheap," they sneer. "He's desperate enough to take any job, a scrub like him." For Eugene is no famous hunter. He is barely a hunter at all. He works the worst jobs for the smallest pay, swallowing every insult that comes his way. "This guy's gone completely insane," a rival scoffs, as tempers begin to flare. "Why the hell is an F-class picking a fight with a D-class?" Someone gasps. For Eugene is F rank, the very bottom of the ladder. And yet he refuses to back down, no matter the odds against him. "I must say, I'm impressed," an older hunter admits. "That took some real guts." Eugene just grins through the bandages, long used to taking his lumps. "I'm sure you're the one having a hard time mediating between us all," he says, ever humble. "Please give my regards to your younger brother," the man says. "Oh, yeah," says the boy who is Eugene's entire reason for fighting. But Eugene is hiding something no one else can see. A strange power, whispering at the very edge of his sight. "Check influence target? Open the gate," he mutters, stealing. Himself. For a weak man with a brother to feed has no choice but to keep going. Deep inside a gate, the dungeon stretches dark and deadly. Eugene takes whatever raid will have him, no matter how dangerous it is. "If we catch you trying to steal," they threaten, "we'll strip you bare and string you up on a pole." He endures the threats and the scorn in silence, as he always has. To the other hunters, the lowly F-class is barely worth the air he breathes. Among them is a girl who lost her parents when she was very young. Without even listening to my warnings that it was dangerous, Eugene recalls, they pushed on. And in the dark of the dungeon, things go terribly, fatally wrong. Eugene's whole life has been one misfortune piled upon another. "We sponsored you," the guild reminds him coldly, "so you'll be the one to pay the compensation." Debts and blame stack higher than he could ever hope to repay. "To add to my misfortune," he remembers, "I lost the use of my legs in a dungeon. And then my own brother said, 'Please, just live quietly. Stop holding me back.'" The brother he had raised, now a powerful hunter, had grown cold and distant. Everything Eugene had sacrificed had bought him only loneliness. And the world moved on without him, the weak F-class no one needed. It wasn't thanks to luck or my place by the gate that I survived. The reason I survived, he says, even when the rest of the team died, was a strange power, all his own, that no one else possessed. An ability to read the truth of any enemy at a single glance. If a target's speed is high, or its strength immense, the skill shows me everything. Thanks to that, I always survive. Even surrounded by monsters and titans, the weak F-class somehow endured. But his ruined legs could only carry him so far. And his luck, like everything else in his life, was about to run out. That damned F-class. They scream. It's because of him. Because we got involved with that bastard. And there, abandoned and blamed, in the heart of a burning dungeon, Eugene's first life comes to its end. In his final moments, Eugene faces a monster far beyond his strength. Flames and claws close in on him from every side. He has no time even to be afraid. Battered and broken, he is thrown down into the dark. This is how it ends, he thinks, for a man like me. Alone, as he has always truly been. Is this the end, then? The monster looms, and death draws near. The beast strikes, and Eugene's vision goes white with pain. His body fails him at the very last. And then, a blinding light swallows everything. Power he cannot name tears through the entire dungeon. Reality itself seems to bend and break apart around him. And that, he says, is how my life started over again. When he opens his eyes, the world is different. Younger. Whole. The very monsters he once feared now stand before him once more. But this time, Eugene remembers everything that is yet to come. He remembers the deaths, the betrayals, the bitter and lonely end. Did you come in here just to tell me that? A wounded voice rasps. Did you really think he'd come rescue you because you're his brother? A cruel voice mocks. There's no way. Think about who you are. Those words had cut Eugene deeper than any blade ever could. The memory of that abandonment burns hotter than the flames around him. If I die in a dungeon, he'd said bitterly, you won't even have to bother with something as inconvenient as a funeral. But fate, it seems, was not finished with him just yet. Given a second chance, Eugene makes a silent, burning vow. This time, he will not waste it. This time, he will raise them right. In his first life, Eugene had buried far too many people he failed to save. Save me, their voices still echo in his memory. I have to, he thinks. No. Take the chance and run, instinct screams. But no, he decides. This isn't it. Not this time. The deaths, the failures, the guilt, it is all his to carry, and all his to undo. Armed with the knowledge of everything to come, he steps forward. If it's all happening in the past again, he reasons, then I can change every bit of it. Power surges through him, vast and utterly unfamiliar. I'm sorry, he whispers to the ghosts of those he lost. This time will be different. You really intend to see this through, even to the very end, an enemy sneers. You're slow, Eugene says coldly. I'm twice as strong as my brother is now. For with his second life came his brother's strength, and together with it, his brother's memories flooding into me. Power he never dreamed of now answers his every command. The monsters that once killed him fall like nothing before him. But raw strength alone is not the reason he came back. Just when I'd heard about a strange ability, he marvels, I'd become something else entirely. A new power blooms in his sight, one that will let him reshape his very fate. He moves through the past like a man who already knows every ending. I'll live this new life carefully, he vows. The strength I gained from my brother, I will never misuse it. And so Eugene returns to the one place that matters most to him. An ordinary day, in an ordinary place, long before the world fell apart. Soon, in this very room, everything will begin again, he thinks. And there he is. His little brother, young and whole and alive. He's alive, Eugene breathes, hardly daring to believe his own eyes. I'm sorry for all the trouble, the boy says. You don't have to worry about a thing, Eugene answers, his voice thick with emotion. My little brother, he says, and the words spill out before he can stop them. I love you. Ha! His brother yelps, utterly bewildered, as Eugene's second chance truly begins. Eugene wastes no time. He brings his little brother home, determined to do everything differently. But now, he thinks, studying the strange new world behind his eyes. I thought my powers would be wiped away when I turned back time, he muses. Is this okay? It seems strange. There are 4 skills that come along with this title, he reads, a system only he can see. Strange windows and abilities unfold before him, like something out of a game. Powers that will let him face the coming gates head-on. But the most important skill of all is something no one would ever expect. His stats are modest. Stamina, strength, dexterity, mentality, magic. Weak, on their own. But his true gift isn't his own strength at all. My dexterity and mentality have been buffed, he realizes. This feels just like the skills I had before. And then he sees it. A skill named, of all things, my kid is the best. The more he cares for someone, the stronger that person becomes. If I can buff them, he understands, raise them as my own, their power will soar. My kids, I like you, the skill reads, and it is no joke at all. The parent concept makes a strange kind of sense, he thinks. To raise my younger brother, and others like him. Instead of fighting alone, he will pour his influence into the people around him. It begins, as it must, with the brother he failed the very first time. He listens this time, truly listens, the way he never could before. Now they have antidotes and items they never had before, he notes, providing everything his brother lacked. In his first life, he had been too poor, too weak, and far too late. I worked in the shadows, he recalls, mentoring and shielding you, so the world would never find out what you truly were. I'm sorry I worried you, the boy says quietly. But this time, Eugene will be there for him. I'm glad I turned back time, Eugene smiles, cooking a warm meal. It was the best decision of my life. He beat them all to a pulp, the boy reports proudly. Deleted them, see? And Eugene's heart swells. You're not going anywhere, Eugene tells him firmly. You live here now. What? His brother yelps, and so the raising of the S-classes truly begins. What are you even saying? His brother protests, but Eugene only smiles. Because you're my younger brother, Eugene says, we'll be together as a family, no matter what. So, he adds firmly, you can't go anywhere. He even draws up the arrangements to make it official. What? The boy blinks. Why? Eugene asks innocently. You said it was fine. That's basically the same as handing your whole life over to him, someone notes. And just like that, the brother is moved in, whether he likes it or not. Otherwise I might be confined here forever, the boy sighs, though he can't quite hide a smile. I'm such a small, worthless person, one of them says, but you never gave up on me. For Eugene's gift is turning the overlooked and the broken into something extraordinary. He seeks them out, the future S-classes the whole world will one day depend on. In my eyes, he says, his power revealing their hidden potential, I can see exactly what they'll become. A lonely girl, a brawler, a misfit, each one a diamond in the rough. What? What? Ha? They stammer, as this strange man takes a genuine interest in them. Great. He beams. He meets them as equals, with a fist bump and a warm word. For people who have only ever been used, simple kindness is overwhelming. One by one, he gathers his unlikely family around him. Even the hardest, most dangerous hunters soften under his care. Hyung, I'm back, one calls, already thinking of Eugene as an older brother. And the more he cares for them, the stronger they steadily grow. There are many enemies wary of the World's Edge Guild, he tells them. But when we grow strong enough, no one will dare lay a hand on us. And when that time comes, you'll be free to leave. Together, they face the gates that once meant only certain death. And with Eugene quietly behind them, they begin to rise. Who? He asks, when word of a new talent reaches him. Another child to raise. He never forgets where he came from, the poverty and the pain of his old life. And he swears that no one under his wing will ever feel as alone as he once did. Eugene throws himself into his plan with everything he has. Hyung, did you awaken? His brother gasps, stunned by the change in him. What? Eugene plays it off. He keeps his true strength a careful secret, even from those closest to him. For a weak F-class draws no attention, and that is exactly what he wants. But behind that humble mask burns an enormous ambition. Do you think I'll let you size me up like before? He vows. Just wait and see. I'll gather together every single A-class class hunter. He sets his sights on building something the world has never seen. A place where the strongest hunters can be raised and kept safe. Mr. Han Yujin, the system declares, you are now registered as an F-class awakener. The lowest rank, entirely by his own design. He moves through the booming hunter world, where power itself is bought and sold. Quietly testing the limits of the strange new abilities at his command. If it's just this much, he thinks, I really should be at least a C-class by now. Where did you go? Someone asks, as Eugene slips in and out of danger entirely unseen. I got into a high-level dungeon, he reveals, and walked back out without a single scratch. Knowledge of the future makes him untouchable in a world full of traps. And everywhere he looks, he sees the broken people he came back to save. He begins to seek them out, one by one. How many times do I have to tell you? A fierce young hunter snaps, not yet realizing who he is. I found you, Eugene says softly, recognizing a future legend in the rough. Why can't I even keep my poker face, he frets, as he hunts down the perfect gear. A B-class belt, dexterity +6. Whoa, what is that? Others marvel. Their equipment is the very best. He chases down every talent, every diamond buried in the dust. Found you. Each one a future pillar of the family he is so carefully building. The very hunters who will one day stand at the absolute peak of the world. But the gates never wait. Somewhere, the screaming begins all over again. And Eugene, with his growing family, rushes headlong toward the danger. Back home, Eugene cooks for his ever-growing family, savoring the ordinary peace. He remembers what it was to be hungry and forgotten, and refuses to let it happen again. He approaches each new recruit with patience and genuine care. Actually, I was acquainted with your parents, he tells a wary young hunter. They helped me when mine passed away. It's a lie, of course, but a kind one. Slowly, the lonely and the lost begin to trust this strange, gentle man. I have a rare talent as an awakener, he explains. A skill that lets me help others awaken their own power. And he proves it, drawing out gifts they never knew they had. Around his table, the makings of a true family begin to gather. He's promising, Eugene notes, his power quietly assessing each one. But he needs to be raised right. He provides for them, shelters them, and believes in them completely. I'm just a weak F rank, he says with a humble smile. Aren't you worried that a worthless being like me is the one protecting you? But they see the truth, that his kindness is its own kind of strength. His little brother watches it all, slowly understanding the man his young has become. Gosh, give that to me, one scolds him. What would you do if I exploited you for signing so thoughtlessly? For they have come to care for him, just as deeply as he cares for them. And under his wing, the future S-classes slowly begin to bloom. Even the roughest of them cannot resist his warmth for very long. A relationship with this brat? One barks. Of course not. Are you crazy? Though the bond between them grows all the same. Eugene never forgets the worn-out shoes, the empty pockets, the lonely nights. It is why he gives so freely to those the world simply threw away. Aha, he says softly. I think I finally understand what you mean. Yes, that's right. She fumes about an old enemy. He's totally evil. He took all the inheritance my parents left me, she says bitterly, and didn't give me a single cent. And Eugene listens, and quietly vows to set every wrong right. But raising legends is dangerous work, and the gates always take their toll. Are you okay? He cries, rushing to a fallen comrade, as danger closes in once more. On an ordinary afternoon, a startled boy spins around, his eyes going wide. Juicy? He gasps, as a familiar figure steps in out of nowhere. Are you okay? Eugene asks gently, placing himself between a trembling girl and the man looming over her. This Juicy is hitting people. The boy cries out, pointing. What? The gathering crowd gasps, unsure who to believe. I didn't do anything, the man protests. I'm just trying to protect that girl. But Eugene only steps closer. Then why, he asks evenly, use your fists instead of your words? You struck her, a frail middle schooler, the same way you'd strike me, didn't you? Why you, the man stammers. How dare you try to frame me? Oh my, Eugene says mildly, the floor's so slippery where the soda spilled. And somehow, again and again, the bully keeps slipping face first into the table. You should be ashamed, he whispers, for preying on a child like her. And if you ever go near her again. He leaves the threat unfinished, and it lands all the harder for it. Then, from outside, a deep rumble rolls through the street. An earthquake? Someone yelps. Did a war just break out? What on earth is this? Han Yujin SSI. A voice shouts in warning. It's dangerous, everyone run. A monster, a dungeon break has torn open in the heart of the city. Run! It's coming this way. The people scream, scattering in terror. I'll take care of things here, says Kim Seonghan, a veteran hunter, planting himself between the beast and the fleeing crowd. His shield of the earth flares to life, a wall of pure defense thrown up against the monster's charge. Please, run, now. But Eugene's mind is already racing. I have no memory of this, he thinks. Why has a monster appeared here, at this exact moment? It has no true body, he realizes, watching the creature writhe and shift. An enemy that can't simply be cut down. It's climbing over the walls. Someone shrieks. The thing pours through the streets, and the panic only grows. Run! Eugene urges the boy. Get to the evacuation shelter, now. But what about you? The boy protests. Just go, Eugene tells him. The underground shopping center, that's the shelter, right? Then I'm going back for the others. That monster, Eugene murmurs, I've seen it before. On its own it isn't strong. But if you don't finish it in a single blow, it becomes a nightmare. Kim Seonghan is built for defense, he knows. No wide area attacks, nothing that can hit something like this. It's the worst possible matchup, Eugene thinks. I need to find another way, and fast. Juicy, I'll come with you. The boy pleads. Awaken me, please, I just want to help fight. You're afraid I'll turn on you once I'm strong? That's not it, Eugene says. You haven't even signed yet. That's exactly why I can't, he adds. You're still just a child. Do you really think you could fight the instant you awaken? He asks. I wanted to bring out your power somewhere safe, not throw you into a battle like this. I won't let a child like you fight alone, Eugene says, and he means every single word. The adults will handle what we can hear. You, get yourself to safety. Understood? Think, Han Yujin, he tells himself. You survived more than 5 years as a hunter. There's a way out of this, there always is. Then it clicks. Hunter Kim Seonghan. He calls out, an idea catching fire behind his eyes. It's useless, Seonghan grunts, even a barrier can't cover the whole town. Why did you come back? Just lend me your shield skill, Eugene says, a grin spreading. That power is more than enough. I have a plan. It's useless. Seonghan shouts, even a barrier can't shield the whole city. But Eugene's eyes are steady. Use your shield skill, he says. I have a plan, and that power is more than enough. A shield is just a sturdy wall, Eugene explains. But if you wrap that wall all the way around a monster, it stops being a shield. It becomes a cage. And then there's the little something he picked up at the Hunter Association earlier, saved for exactly an emergency like this. An A-class poison item, the black poison pill, deadly enough to fell almost anything caught in its cloud. If I detonate it inside the sealed barrier, he thinks, and trap the creature in with it, I could wipe the whole thing out in a single stroke. The cage snaps shut, the poison blooms, and the monster is swallowed whole. But when the cloud clears, his stomach drops. The inside is empty? The beast is gone. It slipped out through the sewer. He curses. I never accounted for that, there are no sewers inside a dungeon. The monster is loose in the streets again. Old man. A small voice cries. It's Yerim, the very girl he protected, caught right in the creature's path. Run, toward the alley. Eugene orders. You're just an ordinary civilian. But the girl plants her feet. What about you, old man? You're only an F-class. At least I'm a grown adult, he says. Don't make me laugh. She fires back. You're the one who was begging a middle schooler to protect you a minute ago. You're still a child, he insists. I know that. She snaps. But that's exactly why I need power, right now. When you saved me back there, she admits, I felt relieved. This person truly wants to protect me. And then it made me furious. That I have to sit and pray someone else will save me, because I'm too weak to save myself. The power to protect myself, she says, eyes blazing. The power to make my own choices. That's what you told me, old man. That I have it in me. That I can become strong. So teach me. She pleads. Show me just how powerful I can be. And something in Eugene answers her. Frost explodes outward. The ice skill, Cold Sigh, has been activated. Awakener Park Yerim, registration complete. Old man. She gasps, staring at her glowing hands. I got S-class. In a single breath, Eugene has raised his first future legend. Behind you. Someone screams. There's still a monster. The creature lunges one last time. Be careful, Yerim. Mommy. A child wails in the chaos, as the girl turns to face the beast head-on. So this is the power of an S-class, Eugene breathes, watching ice swallow the monster whole. Okay, he says. I'll take it from here. Be careful. He laughs, half buried in frost, you'll bury us all. Sorry. She yelps. I'm still not used to controlling this much power. In the future he remembers, she was feared as the Ice Witch, cold and untouchable. But here, now, she's just a kid who's finally learned how to smile like that, and he intends to keep it that way. Yuhyan. Eugene calls, as his little brother arrives at last, never far when his Hyung is in danger. He burned the thing away in one clean go, someone marvels. Whoa, what? Between the two of them, the monster never stood a chance. Hyung. Yuhyan breathes in relief. Eugene grins back at his brother, the danger finally passed. Do you have any idea how worried I was? The boy scolds. This is why I keep telling you to stay home. I really should just lock you up. It's okay, Eugene beams, you don't have to worry anymore. Look, I found one. The freshly awakened S-class, Park Yerim. And nice to meet you, the girl mumbles. It's really the guild master of the Abyss Guild, she whispers, awed. She agreed to form a contract with me, Eugene says proudly. But she's clearly a minor, someone notes. What about her guardian? About that, Eugene says, his smile thinning. Her guardian is, well, a real piece of work. So I'm thinking of becoming her patron. Her patron? Yuhyan yelps. Not just a sponsor, but her patron? A sponsor can't step into your affairs, Eugene explains. But a patron is the legal guardian of an underage hunter. Essentially, it means becoming her parent. Parent? The girl squeaks. Hyung, why would you take on someone else? Yoo-hyun protests. How could I leave her be? Eugene answers softly, when her uncle is a man like that. The choice, though, is hers. There have been plenty of cases of high-class hunters abusing the very patrons meant to shield them. No S-class would ever follow a weak F-class like you, Hyung. And who's to say you won't change your mind and hurt my Hyung? Yoo-hyun snaps. I won't, Yerim says quietly. The contract exists to protect him. Are you sure you're not the dangerous one here? Han Yoo-hyun, Eugene sighs, pinned beneath the squabbling pair. Is this how I raised you? Are you okay, Hyung? Should I call a healer? And why are we leaving now? The boy fumes. You haven't even finished cleaning up. Poor Mr. Seonghan's still standing there waiting. Go do your job, Guildmaster. I'm so sorry, Yerim frets, I still can't control my strength. Is your shoulder okay? It just popped out, Eugene says lightly. Anyway, here's your shoe, he says, kneeling to help her with it. Let me, since you're not used to your strength yet. It's worn through and the wrong size, he murmurs, frowning. I can't believe that bastard of an uncle handed you this. Let's go buy you a new pair tomorrow, he says gently. Okay? You asked why I'd go this far for you, Eugene says. Honestly? I'm just a busybody. What? She blinks. It's because I see myself in you, he admits. I had a rough time too, after my parents died. Back then, I wished I'd had someone, a reliable pillar to hold us up when everything was falling apart. I'm sure I don't look like much, he says with a crooked smile. I think you're plenty reliable, old man, she mumbles. Even though you're a grown adult who begged a middle schooler to protect him? She teases. Anyway, take good care of me, Mr. Patron. It won't ever be as much as your parents gave you, he says, but, Yerim, he tells her plainly. I love you. The words land like a thunderclap. That's so out of the blue. She laughs, flushing red, and somewhere only Eugene can see, a quiet notice glows. The S-class awakener Park Yerim has been influenced. Another child, drawn into his family. Park Yerim. So this is where you've been, her uncle sneers, finally tracking her down. I was worried sick. But first, he says, his eyes going greedy. Is it really true that you awakened? Yes, she answers flatly. I'm an S-rank. S-rank? He gasps. Then we'll be rolling in money. And I'm moving out, she adds. I've signed a contract with this Ajusi. What? The uncle splutters. Hunters can live independently from the age of 14, Eugene says calmly, by special law. Special law? Never heard of it. Stop spouting nonsense, you just tried to strike a frail middle schooler, didn't you? Eugene cuts in, turning the man's own cruelty back on him. You really should use words instead of fists. And I'll be securing the store's security footage as evidence, too. When, the uncle pales, did you record that? You fled and left the child behind, Eugene presses. You've already proven you're no proper guardian. So tell me, how much more were you planning to squeeze out of her? I'll sue you, Eugene says quietly, and drag every one of your true colors into the light. But it's Yerim who steps forward now. Oh my, uncle, she says coldly, how can you keep raising your hand like that? The man freezes. You shoved Ajusi, and then you tripped and fell all on your own, didn't you? She says, voice like ice. Ha? He stammers. Is this really the same middle schooler I used to push around? He thinks, sweating. It's like standing in front of a wild beast. Fear resistance has activated, a hunter murmurs nearby. This pressure, she's the real thing. A true S-rank. What kind of guardian were you, she asks, that you never once bought me even a decent umbrella? But I'll let it go. Do you know why? She says. Because you're a trifle. You're not even worth the effort of caring about. Remember this, she warns. Stay trivial to me. But if you ever try to hold me down, or pick a fight with Ajusi, or bother me again, then, she finishes, eyes flashing, I won't let you be. And the uncle finally understands exactly what he's lost. How was that, Ajusi? She beams, all child again. I followed your example, did I do well? Eugene laughs weakly. I should really be a better role model. And just like that, Yerim becomes part of the World's Edge family, and Eugene, somehow, dodges a future spent locked away by an overprotective brother. Hand it over, Yoo-hyun demands the next morning, deadly serious. What you bought yesterday. Not the shopping mall items, the boy snaps. The black poison fog orb. Eugene blinks. This thing? Hyung, the boy says, his voice cracking. You bought it with the resolve to die. Yoo-hyun, what are you? If your enemies ever made me your weakness, the boy whispers, you'd use this rather than be taken hostage and exploited. Eugene gapes. I never thought any of that, though. You worry about me this much, the boy chokes, but please, never use something like this. What Eugene can't say is that he only bought it to quietly clear a dungeon alone. I'll come save you, no matter what happens, Yujin vows. Eugene smiles helplessly, the misunderstanding only burying him deeper in love. In the end, the uncle signs everything away, swearing never to contact Yerim again, in exchange for no lawsuit. He won't be troubling her, ever again. What on earth happened here? Eugene stares at the training room, left in utter ruin. Could something have happened to Yerim, huh? Suddenly he can't move a muscle. My body, he realizes, it won't budge. Hyung, get a hold of yourself. Yujin shouts. You've grown so strong, Yerim, Eugene wheezes, pinned by the sheer weight of her aura. Are you okay, a juicy? A stylish girl asks. Eugene squints up at her. And who, exactly, might you be? Amnesia? It's me, Yerim. Of course I remember, he lies, you've just changed so much. A coordinator had styled her head to toe. They set me up with a styling room, she chirps. I'm headed to the Hunter Association later. You look like a sports drink model, Yerim. I even filled out my Hunter registration to submit there, she says. I was just testing my skills to figure them out. First is a freezing skill, she explains, freezing sigh. And with Hermes' shoes, I can fly and short-range teleport. Shadowless Day is a wide area buff, she goes on. It drastically boosts a chosen stat, and it can even drink up an enemy's shadow to slow them down, feeding the power back to me. That's why the training room is wrecked, Eugene realizes. And one last thing, she adds. White Corpse, a skill that draws information out of the dead. That's an ominous one, he murmurs. Right? She pouts. I wish I'd gotten a proper attack skill instead. There's no need to show every card when you register, Eugene says. Thinking fast. Let's keep White Corpse hidden, for now. And let's tuck away a few more besides. We'll list only the buff for Shadowless Day, only the flight for Hermes' shoes, and set their ranks, modestly. The World's Edge Guild car has arrived. A reporter announces. The new S rank, Mississippi Park Yerim, steps into the light. Behold, the birth of the nation's 8th S-rank battle hunter. The cameras flash, a legend is officially born. The cold, haughty Park Yerim he once knew in the future is nowhere to be found, replaced by a confident, ever-smiling middle school hunter. And the dungeon break from a few days ago, he notes, never happened the first time around. Is it truly alright, for the future he knows to change this much? Still, since I'm already at the association, he decides, let's go hunting for talent. What's good is good. No high-ranking hunter would just be wandering a place like this, he muses, then stops cold. Han Yujin SSI? Someone calls. Where are you going? Why not? He thinks. In the end, I turned back time to save my little brother. And if I can change Yerim and Yujin for the better, and if a gem buried in the gravel is sitting right in front of me, then maybe this skill of mine, he thinks, was given to me for exactly this. To make that hidden gem shine. Who, the stranger asks warily, are you? And in Eugene's sight, a quiet window blows, an F rank now, but a possible awakening of the very highest order. You're Myungwoo, aren't you? Eugene says warmly. It's been so long. Who? The man mumbles. You don't remember me? It's Han Yujin. But in his sight, the stranger's hidden skill blazes. Master of the Golden Smith, a craft beyond price. Just from the name, it's a skill made for forging equipment, Eugene marvels. And an SS rank, no less. An SS rank blacksmith, capable of making gear you couldn't buy for billions. Not even 5 years from now does another like him appear. And all of it, buried inside this worn-down man who looks like life has chewed him up and spat him out. Have you awakened too? Eugene asks. Yeah, Myungwoo says dully, to an F rank. Same as me. Eugene grins. Want to take the basic training together? No, the man sighs. I only came for the subsidy. Training costs money, and it's useless for an F rank anyway. I'm dead broke right now. Then let's do it together at my guild, Eugene offers. Ha! Myungwoo blinks. The World's Edge Guildmaster, Eugene says breezily, happens to be my little brother. What? The World's Edge Guildmaster? You're suddenly shining way too bright. I'll put in a good word with the guild, Eugene says. And I'll lend you my equipment, too. Even equipment? Is that really okay? Don't overthink it, just take it, Eugene says. I want to help you, because you're a good man. Okay? You deserve to be treated this well, he tells him, and means it. Do I really, Myungwoo whispers, his voice trembling, deserve this much? It's been so long since anyone said that to me, the man admits. I was good with my hands once, as a kid. Won awards, even. But when I grew up, everyone told me it was all useless. To stop fooling around and study. I had no talent for it, he says. Bad grades, no job, debt piling up. Before I knew it, I was a loser with nowhere left to go. How dare an F rank stand up to a D rank, Eugene thinks, remembering. Even after the world changed, people just sorted themselves by rank. What good is a combat supporter like you, they'd said. Only fighters and healers were ever welcome. I wonder what would have become of you, Myungwoo, Eugene thinks, if nothing had ever changed. He'd have died never once getting the chance to use his gift, his talent buried with him. So let's not shrink into ourselves, Eugene says, hauling him up. Who cares if no one can see your worth yet? I'm remarkable, he has the man repeat. People just can't see it. I love myself. You, Myungwoo, Eugene says, clasping his shoulder. I love you too, my friend. Thank you, Eugene, the man breathes, and unseen, the words take hold. Myungwoo has been influenced by the keyword. Another lost soul, found. But it isn't all smooth sailing. We can't hand a guild reference to some scrap you found who knows where, the HR chief, Suk Sangmyeong, says coldly. A few days ago you were getting scammed by a broker, the man sneers. Now you've sweet-talked the guildmaster and you're taking a leap of faith on this? Eugene's jaw tightens. Please, stop. Myungwoo cries, shrinking. I'll just take my leave. Myungwoo. Eugene calls after him. You told me I have value, Myungwoo says quietly. That's enough for me. I won't shrink back anymore. I'll do what I can. Actually, the man adds, there's a place that said it would hire an F rank like me. Really? Eugene frowns. Somewhere like that? They said they'd pick me up right here, Myungwoo says hopefully. Eugene's eyes narrow. Doesn't that look incredibly sketchy? You got the subsidy, didn't you? The loan sharks loom over Myungwoo. Time to pay your debt. Ah, here, the man says, fumbling out what little he has. You know this is nowhere near enough, right? They laugh. Myungwoo's shoulders sink. Wait. Who are you people? Eugene steps in. Loan sharks? Where are you taking Myungwoo? How is that any of your business? They sneer. Because, Eugene says evenly, I want to go with him. You borrowed from terrifying people, Eugene murmurs to his friend. But why did you tag along? The thugs ask him. You've got no debt. How could I let him go alone? Eugene shrugs. Come mine some magic stones with us in a dungeon, friend, they offer. You know guilds don't usually take F classes, right? But since you're Myungwoo's friend, they grin, we'll let you tag along. Wanna? Yes. Please take me too. Eugene says, all eager innocence. He knows this trick well. Push an F class in with no gear and no training, make them mine while the real members hunt, and skim 70-80% as a protection fee. And all the while, he remembers, people in places like this got hurt, or killed, by monsters nobody was protecting them from. Is this how you died in the future, Myungwoo? He thinks, watching his friend. Worked to death in a hole like this, your talent never once seeing daylight? The building's run down, Myungwoo says, hopeful as ever, but I can feel real hope in it. Above the door, a sign reads, Hope Errand Services. Is the office upstairs? Bet it gets lots of sun, the stairs are, and then a shove sends him flying. KGH. Why did you push me? Eugene groans from the floor. Am Myungwoo? His friend cries, horrified. What do you think you're doing? Eugene snaps. I'm sorry to drag you in when you've no debt, the boss smirks, but you only have yourself to blame for walking in here. You chose to come, he says coldly. But leaving, that won't be your choice to make. I'm sorry, Eugene, Myungwoo whispers, head down. I should have handled this myself. I've dragged you into my mess. Now, the thugs grin, stamp it with your thumb. And they shove a contract under his nose. Break it and you'll be hit with a D-class curse, they warn. This is a specially made Awakener's contract. Don't even think about running. Before I sign, Eugene says mildly, could I compare my contract with his? It'd sting if our terms were the same, since unlike him, I don't even have any debt. Heh, the boss chuckles, clever one. Eugene scans the page, then goes still. Myungwoo's only getting 10%, he says. And that 10% goes straight to paying off his debt. This, Eugene says quietly, the air shifting around him, is nothing but a slave contract. And then he tears it clean in half. He ripped it? They shriek. What about the curse? The curse fizzles to nothing. Debuff nullified, by curse resistance. The thugs stare, dumbfounded. You son of a bitch. One snarls. This guy's no F-class. I am an F-class, Eugene says, cracking his neck. I'm just a little overgeared. It's too late to call the cops. No, Eugene cuts in, smiling. I'm not calling the police. My help, he says, has already been on the way for quite a while now. And outside, something heavy starts climbing the stairs. He brought an accomplice? The thugs blanch. Well, it's just one guy, they tell themselves, trying not to panic. The door opens, and a familiar figure steps through. "I've come to pick you up, Mr. Yujin," says Kim Seonghan, calm as stone. "How dare you lay hands on Hyungnim," he says, and the first thug folds in an instant. How? "I made a quiet call the moment we got in the car," Eugene explains. "I described exactly where we were going, so finding us was child's play for him." "You motherfucker!" a thug screams, lunging. "Let's see how you like getting stabbed." The blade never lands. "In no way," the man stammers, frozen. "How? You should have brought a weapon," Seonghan says flatly, "that could actually handle an A-class. That face," a thug whimpers, the realization dawning. "This guy, he's Kim Seonghan of the Abyss Guild. Get down." Now, Seonghan tells Eugene, stepping in front of him. "Are you hurt?" "More or less fine," Eugene says. Then Eugene slides a fresh page across the table. "Here. Sign it," he says pleasantly. "It's an S-class contract. 90% of our profits for 50 years? The thugs howl. "You're telling us to die." "A scam," Eugene echoes, "that's rich. Weren't you just calling it a sweet gig?" "These were in your cabinet," Eugene says, holding up a stack of papers. "The contracts of every F-class you ground up. Over 30 people. How many of them are still alive and whole?" He asks. "How should I know?" The boss spits. "They went into the dungeons by choice. Not even half of them are still breathing. You used them like disposable parts," Eugene says, his voice going cold, "for pennies, because there's always another desperate F-class to take their place. I get it, class is everything to you," he says. "But they were people. You're murderers, plain and simple. We're sorry. We were wrong." The thugs grovel. "A 50-year contract's too harsh, please, have mercy." "Since you're so repentant," Eugene says, "you can accept your punishment with grace. Right? Drag them away," he says, and Seonghan obliges. They're handed to the Hunter Association, every profit from their labor set aside to compensate the families they wrong. "What a crazy day," Seonghan sighs. "Thanks, Yujin," Myungwoo says, eyes brimming. "I've been saved by you twice now." "Wah! Yujin!" the man bawls, flinging his arms around him. "You're my true hero." "It's really nothing," Eugene squirms. "Hey! Don't get clingy. And thank Mr. Seonghan." Later, using his standing as Yerim's patron, Eugene secures a guild dorm. "Wow!" Myungwoo gawks. "This is a dorm?" For whole rooms, the man marvels. "It's like a fancy apartment. Right?" Eugene grins. "About that, Myungwoo. Outsiders can't live here," Eugene explains, "but they make an exception for live-in housekeepers. So what if you stayed on, pretending to be mine? It'll take time for you to get back on your feet," Eugene says gently, "and you can do it here." "Yujin," the man wails. "You're such a good, kind friend." You're crying again, get up." "I should grab my things from Yu Hyun's place," Eugene thinks. "Once my brother finds out I've moved out, but it isn't Yu Hyun waiting for him. This time I'm here for a different matter," Seonghan says, his face unreadable. "No need to make it complicated. Just, follow me." "Do you know Kim Minhyui?" Seonghan asks the flustered staff, who nearly leap to attention. "Ah, yes. We got your call. Right this way, please, we'll show you somewhere quiet." "Why bring me to a place only kids hang out?" Eugene wonders, glancing around the trendy spot. "It's the hottest place among her friends," Seonghan explains. "Oh, right," Eugene remembers. "I'm only in my 20s now." "Before anything else," Eugene says, settling in, "may I ask why you brought me here?" "I wanted to apologize," Seonghan says, "as soon as I possibly could." Eugene blinks. "For a long time," the man admits, "you struck me as unreliable. Like a pebble forever getting in the guildmaster's way. But you're a good person, Han Yujin SSI, he says quietly. "I see that now. You went out of your way to turn back and help when the dungeon broke. You earned Park Yerim's trust and brought her into the guild, and quietly settled a problem that could have haunted us all later, and you even saved your friend, putting yourself in real danger to do it." "How do I put it?" Seonghan says. "You're someone I feel I could trust at my back. It's all a misunderstanding." Eugene laughs nervously. "You're overrating me, but I'll take it," Eugene says, raising his glass. And in his head, a quieter thought, "Tonight, Kim Seonghan, I'll bring you into the family." "I get it," Seonghan says. "I'm in a similar spot. You're the guildmaster's only remaining family, after all." He worries because that's all he has. "My grandfather raised me," the man says, "after my parents passed. I had no one else. The guildmaster helped me in countless ways until my grandfather died," he recalls. "He even flew in a healer from abroad to care for him. He's a man who understands what family really means," Seonghan says. "So please don't think badly of him, even if he worries a little too much." Eugene smiles. Then I'm lucky, he says, to have his right-hand man understand my brother so well. I'll be in your care from now on too, Seonghan says, and something warms between them. You're a far heavier drinker than you look, Seonghan notes. Ha! Eugene startles. When did I drink this much? Why am I not getting drunk? He panics inwardly. Then it hits him, his poison resistance skill. Can I really never get drunk, no matter how much I pour down? No. He thinks, desperate. I refuse to say the words while stone cold sober. Something on your mind? Seonghan asks. Just a little, Eugene deflects. Poison resistance, off. He commands silently. Skill, off. Oh. He blinks. It actually turned off, and then every drop of the night crashes into him at once. It's all rushing in, he slurs. Quart. My head. Eugene howls, the entire evening's alcohol hitting like a freight train. I really didn't expect my own skill to switch off, he groans. You're awake, Seonghan says, sliding over a glass of water. I've got something for you to clean up with. The next morning, Eugene wakes to a nightmare. Why is Kim Seonghan here so early? But behind his eyes, a quiet notice glows. The influence succeeded. Do you not remember last night? Seonghan asks. You must have a brutal hangover, the man chuckles. What in the world happened? Eugene wails, and just like that, one more pillar of his future family is quietly, lovingly raised.